Hey everyone, it's Yvonne Emile Elizondo from Silver Moon Astrology and Transpersonal Counseling, also known as Silver Moon Counseling. And I am here today because something pretty significant happened less than 24 hours ago, astrologically. And so I wanted to share that with you. So if you haven't heard, Pluto has officially left Capricorn, this ambitious, very structured, highly art hierarchical energy of Capricorn, and has now ingressed into this fixed air sign of revolutionary, rebellious Aquarius. And so this is a pretty big shift. So I'm going to share the chart with you. I'm going to give you an ins and outs of what Pluto, actually the qualities of Pluto, the qualities of Capricorn and Aquarius, and then give you an idea how globally, how this energy has manifested, and then give you some insight about how this can show up personally in a general sense in your life. So let's take a look at the chart. All right, this shifting of Pluto is quite significant. So here we go. So this is Saturday, the 20th, 2024. This happened at 6:51 p.m. And so here we have Pluto. It did ingress conjunct with the sun. So it was like a last mic drop of Pluto in Capricorn. Here we have Capricorn, and it has ingressed into Aquarius. Now, here is what is going to happen. So in March of 2023, Pluto dipped its toes into Aquarius and then came back very, very, very quickly. So we had like a little preview of what this Pluto in Aquarius was going to be. So if you can think back to March of 2023, and you'll get an idea, March to May 2023, you get an idea of what some of that energy is. But this time around, what we do have is, we have to erase all this. So this time around, we have Pluto ingressing into Aquarius. It will ingress into Aquarius until September 7th, I believe, when it starts to retrograde back. It dips its toes back into Capricorn. And then on November 11th, it ingresses into Aquarius, where it will remain for 20 to 21 years. So pretty big shift in energy. All right. Okay, so let's dive into some of the qualities of Pluto and why this is such a big deal. Astrologically, okay? So first and foremost, it takes Pluto about 248, 250 years to make an entire trip around the zodiac, okay? So it's a very slow moving planet, right? So we refer to the slower moving planets like Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto as generational planets because there's going to be generations of people that have Pluto in a specific zodiac sign. So for example, I was born in 1970, so several years before, several years afterwards, okay, my generation will have Pluto in Virgo because Pluto in Virgo was that time period, okay? So this is a very highly generational planet, which means that we're going to see more of this energy collectively and globally, right? There's going to be groups of people that experience the themes, okay, and the qualities of Pluto in a specific sign. So, for example, in 2008, when Pluto ingressed into Capricorn, left Sagittarius, ingressed into Capricorn, we started to see almost immediately the housing market debacle, the financial market issue. And so with those themes of Capricorn, right? Capricorn represents money. And so we saw this transition from 2008 until 2024, just yesterday, right, we started to see the breakdown of these governmental and financial market structures, right? Because Capricorn represents, amongst other things, finances, hierarchy, government, rules, boundaries, standards, regulations, framework. Okay, so Capricorn is very much about the structure, okay, in which we function, right? And so it does represent government. Now, if you think back from 2008, we've had this shift globally, and there's been like this revolutionary, right, type of energy where we have been experiencing a significant amount of conflict and chaos and disruption when it comes to our governments. And this is internationally. I mean, you can turn the news on and see that there's, rebellious types of energies wanting to overthrow governments, civil wars, right? One country taking over another, trying to, right? So we've had this conflict of sorts. Okay, Pluto in Capricorn was very much about breaking things down, breaking the foundation down. Okay, so let me share with you some qualities of Pluto. Pluto is known as the Lord of the underworld. So we know that this is not a fluffy energy. We know that this isn't something that's going to be easy to work through. It is a disruptive energy. Pluto breaks things down methodically to the molecular structure, to the bottom, to the nitty gritty. Okay. It's not a fast moving change type of energy. It is very slow. It is very cyclical. And so what it wants to do is that it needs to get down to the nitty gritty so that we can rebuild. So Pluto doesn't just destroy for destruction purposes. It has a very methodical, intentional breakdown of whatever it's dealing with so that we can create something new from it. Now, Pluto also is known as the higher consciousness of our being. In evolutionary astrology, we take Pluto and we can look at past lives, right? So it's the higher consciousness of our being. It's our collective consciousness globally, but it's also our individual higher consciousness. It does represent fears. It represents power, obsession. It represents control. Okay. And what it tries to do is that it is about taking a hold of something, whatever, theme of the zodiac it's in. It's about taking a hold of that, okay, and breaking it down to the nitty gritty. So in Capricorn, this is what it's been doing the last since 16, 17 years. It has intentionally been breaking down the financial system, the governmental system, this hierarchy that we have been living by. And we're really starting to recognize now that, governments don't always have our best intentions in mind, right? I think we knew this, right? But we're starting to see this become more of a prominent issue, become more aware. People are becoming more aware of these issues. And this is what this Capricorn Pluto was doing, was bringing awareness to this by breaking things down, by creating disruption and challenge, right? And that's how Pluto works. Pluto is the destroyer, okay? So now that Pluto is ingressed into Aquarius, we went from an earth sign, very material based, very physical based. The material experience, the physical experience is the predominant essence for Capricorn. Now we switch into an air sign. Aquarius is an air sign, and air is about the mental quality, right? It's about the cognitive, the mental connection. So Aquarius, some of the themes for Aquarius are very much about being in a philosophical state of mind. If you have any Aquarian people, you will see that they are probably very much, working their processes up in their head, right? Over here, establishing their own perspectives. Aquarius is known as the revolutionary, okay? Now, there are two planets in astrology that cause change, that are change factors. The first one is Pluto, as I just mentioned. The second one is Uranus. But Uranus is very quick, sudden, erratic instability that happens to cause change. Okay, that's not the change that we're talking about with Pluto. Pluto, again, is very slowly, methodically breaking things down over an extended period of time. And so in Aquarius, we see that there is this revolutionary type of energy with Aquarius, whereas Capricorn is very much about history, tradition, the status quo. It's earth, it's solid earth. Okay, it's the mountain. Aquarius is very much about, well, how do we break the rules? How do we not follow tradition? Okay, it's how do we, as a collective, okay, create something beyond the rules, especially the rules that aren't working for us anymore, the structures that aren't working for us anymore, the foundations that aren't working for us anymore, right? And so there's this quality of revolutionary, genius, inventor. There's this essence of having a philosophical approach. It represents technology, AI for sure. Of course, technology is my favorite, okay? It represents all of the things outside of the structure of Saturn. So Saturn is the structure, okay? It is the last planet that we can see with our naked eye. So to the ancients, it was the last planet until the other three were discovered later on. So Capricorn is everything within the boundaries, right? We follow the rules, we stay, everything status quo, right? Hierarchy, there's a method to everything. Aquarius is outside of Saturn, and both signs are ruled by Saturn. Okay, so one is inside the boundaries and one always wants to explore and see how the rules can be changed. And so in Aquarius, what we anticipate, now I'm not a geopolitical astrologer by any means, okay, but I do chit chat with quite a few geopolitical astrologers. I learned from them as well, okay, but what I do know is that this shift, this breakdown that's been happening since 2008, we have to do something with it, right? It's like breaking it down. So what do we do with it? We have to change it, right? Because Pluto doesn't break things down just to be destructive. It's intentionally breaking things down so that we know what works for us and what doesn't work for us. And we're very quickly realizing that our financial system isn't quite working for us, right? Our governmental structures aren't working for us. And this is on a generational, okay, level, right? A collective consciousness, collective level, societal level. There we go. Okay. So moving into Aquarius, what we anticipate is that there are people now that we are in a state of revolution, right? We're ready to revolt. Some people are already revolting. Some countries and the citizens in those countries are already and have been revolting against their government. Okay. And so what we anticipate with Pluto and Aquarius is that there's going to be more of this revolutionary type of energy, more of a revolt type of energy. And if you're interested in geopolitical astrology, I'll be happy to recommend some astrologers that I trust. Okay, but essentially, I'm not trying to fear monger here, right? But anything dealing with Pluto is, like I said, it's not a fluffy energy. It incites fear. It incites the need for power and control, but it also wants to break down the qualities of where it's sitting, and it's sitting in Aquarius. So in Aquarius, there's going to be an intensity of revolutionary energy. There's going to be an intensity of wanting to break the rules, but it's for breaking the rules for purposes of rebuilding. Okay. All right. So I can't tell you that for 20 years exactly what's going to happen. I'm just saying that overall, this is the theme of the energy that we're dealing with. Okay. As we get, as we go year by year, okay, month by month, we can get an idea of what Pluto's doing in more detail. But for right now, this is what we will be dealing with. Now, what does this mean for you individually, right? Because every single one of us has Pluto in our natal charts. Okay. Well, Pluto in our charts is the place where we're going to go for that higher consciousness, that intensity, the place wherever it is, like for example, mine is in my 5th house in Virgo. There's an intensity in the relationship that I have with my daughter, right? The 5th house represents children. It represents fun, hobbies, self-expression. Okay. So Pluto over the years, there's been intensity, and my focus has been on being a mom for sure. Right. Of course, a career woman and all of that, therapist and all the astrologer and all that. But my focus has been with with my daughter. But throughout the years, I have also been on this journey of learning how to develop a sense of self-expression, right? And allowing myself to put myself out there, which is one of the struggles that Pluto Virgo people tend to have a lot of times, right? We feel the need to control ourselves very, very much. And so I've learned that we need to ease up on that. Now, how can you work with this energy? Well, first and foremost, I feel that Capricorns for sure, Capricorn sun, moon, and rising are going to feel this release of this intense plutonic energy that has been in their sign, okay, for 16, 17 years. So we are going to see and feel like there's a release of this intensity to need to control or to break things down, or to, just the hierarchy, the status quo, the belief system, the foundations have been shifting for us. Now, wherever Pluto is in your chart, wherever Capricorn is in your chart, you are probably going to feel this energy, and you probably have been feeling it for the last, 8 years. So I have a client who, pretty much said, yeah, when this happened, right, there was an extreme change in my financial status. Okay. And so again, finances, Capricorn, anyhow. So what can we do with this energy as it moves into Aquarius? Well, Aquarius is very much about a philosophical point of view. Okay. It really likes to, it's about the people, it's about the collective consciousness, but it also likes to remove itself, right? There's a distance. That's why Aquarian people tend to be seen as cold, okay, or distant. Even though they can be a part of the unit, they prefer to be separate from the unit. But they're also very process oriented, okay? We need to have a process with Aquarius. So wherever in your life Capricorn was sitting, okay, and if you don't know where, let's have a consultation and let's figure it out, okay? Wherever Capricorn was, you're going to start to feel that release, okay? But now where we're going to feel the intensity more so is in that part of your chart that deals with Aquarius. Now, Aquarius is a fixed energy. So Aquarius is going to be feeling this energy first, primarily. Then we're going to have Leo. Leo is on the polarity of Aquarius. So Leo people will also start to feel this. It is a fixed sign. And then Taurus and Scorpio, because those are the other two fixed signs. So these 4 groups will probably feel this shift more so, okay, and the intensity of what this means. So what can you do with this energy? Well, like my suggestion is this, okay? I'll share with you my little story. Since 2008, when Pluto ingressed into Capricorn, I have Capricorn in my 9th house. I'm all Capricorn, right? I keep saying that. I have 6 placements in Capricorn. As it's been traveling through my 9th house, the 9th house represents spirituality. It represents law. It represents teaching. It represents travel. It represents government. Okay. It represents counseling, therapy, teaching, all of it. I've done all of it. I have literally done all of it with all of that Capricorn placement. I've been a teacher. I'm a therapist. I've worked in criminal studies. Yeah. So anyhow, but it's also the house of your spiritual belief system. Okay. And your own philosophical view of life. So as Pluto has been transiting since 2008, I have been able to explore and expand, and at some point go through the dark night of the soul and even question my own spiritual practices. And I feel like I'm a very spiritually inclined person, but there is a point where that Pluto's not fluffy, where I didn't believe in anything. Like nothing. Like I questioned absolutely everything, which I think was really healthy, but it was really hard to go through that. As Pluto is now getting ready to, or has already left, thank God, because you have no idea. You have no idea the stuff that I went through with Pluto in there. That energy is going to shift. So now what do I do with it, right? So now what do I do with my belief? Hey, this is my doggy. He's about to start barking. Anyhow, so what do you do? Look at your life and say, where do I need restructuring? Okay. Where have I left the old framework? Where can I leave the old framework? Okay. Yeah, he's shaking. Where can I develop, like, where did the hierarchy need to change within me? How am I functioning differently? And to develop a new way, a new process, a new way of thinking. Maybe you need a new philosophical approach to life. Maybe you need to challenge your worldview. Maybe you need to step into like the technology age like me, okay? But we're stepping into this 2021 year energy with Aquarius, okay? This Pluto in Aquarius. So we are going to see a transition from a more physical, manifested type of individual experience to a more collective and mental, if I can say it that way, mental, focused on the mind, focused on thinking and communicating type of energy. So yeah, that is pretty much it. I know that was a lot, but if you want to know exactly where, your placements are in your chart and what part of your chart is going to be highly activated, let's strategize, let's get together, let's have a consultation. But yeah, this is a pretty huge shift, y'all. And This is the first shift, okay, because here in a few days, Uranus turns direct, which is awesome, okay, and now we will have all of the planets moving direct except for, I think, Mercury retrograde in April. I'm not going to lie to you, the astrology for 2024 is disruptive is the word that I'm going to use. There is a lot happening in the skies here starting at the end of March. April, May, and we'll deal with those as we go along. But for the most part, this is really, we're preparing ourselves for 2025 when we do see two major changes again, which is Uranus leaving Taurus and moving into Gemini, and then Neptune leaving its home sign of Pisces, where it's been for, I don't know how many years, 17 years, okay, something like that, and moving into Aries. So this is the first big shift, and we should start preparing for 2025. So anyhow, all right, everyone, that is it. Thank you so much. I hope this transition is easy for everyone. I can't believe I just said easy and Pluto. Easy with Pluto, easy Pluto. I hope this transition is smooth for you. There you go. I wouldn't say easy, but I'm going to say smooth. Smooth is the right word. All right, everyone. That's what we're wishing. Okay. Take care, everyone. Oh, you can find me at silvermooncounseling.org. That is silvermooncounseling.org. And that is it. Take care, everyone. Blessed be.